All right, in Sweden, Jane, you're on camera now.
Hi.
Jane Hamsher, FireDogLake, John Aravosis, AMERICAblog, and I don't even know your name.
I'm Rickard Falkvinge. I am the party leader of the Swedish Pirate Party.
Okay, and why don't you tell our readers what is the Pirate Party?
We're the next generation civil liberties movement, or rather, we're the first politicization of what's going on online since at least mid-90s. People are saying that we demand the right to communicate in private, even though that might be we can communicate copyrighted works. We demand the right to express our opinions anonymously, and we demand the right to freely seek information.
Can you give me some examples
Even
of
online,
what kind of policy?
Even online.
What kind of
online
policies
as
are
well
you
as
talking
offline.
about? For example, people here had told me you were talking about file sharing was one of the biggest ones.
Just because
Yeah.
it's
Go ahead. Yeah. You don't want to be on camera?
let's just keep it on him, and
Okay.
then let me see if I can contextualize it for Americans. Was there a specific incident that led to this becoming an issue?
No, it's grown gradually. I mean, record industry associates, the copyright lobbyists have gradually escalated this to the point where copyright has crept into honest people's bedrooms clad in police uniforms.
But it's the same thing that happened in America. We have
Right.
the Digital Millennium Copyright Act in
Right,
response
right.
to the same sort of lobbying effort.
Right.
So this has been very big. Have people been put in jail for file sharing, or
Just
what's-
one, just one.
Just one.
Have they been
And
fined?
Yeah,
Okay.
they've been fined. Like the Pirate Bay guys were fined. I'm translating it, 30 million krona, which is something like roughly $3 million.
Right.
So it's growing gradually insane, and people are realizing that. I mean, we were just the biggest gainers in the European elections, going from nothing to over 7% in the election.
And was that
in
across
just 3
all of
years.
Europe, or was that just in Sweden? Or?
Just in Sweden.
Okay.
So when you're talking about privacy issues as well, are you talking about government, the ability of the government to go in and look at your files and
We are.
stuff on your phone
It's
and
part.
stuff?
It's part of the whole picture. We're demanding the right to be free citizens. If we're not under the formal suspicion of a crime, we demand the right to be free citizens. That the government leave us the heck alone and assume that we're innocent.
So you're doing both privacy stuff and as well as file sharing. Are the
Right,
two
well,
big issues that have sort of unified in
Well,
this coalition?
they are connected.
Yes.
They are very much connected. I mean, if you have the right to communicate in private, then you can use that right to communicate digital works,
Right.
protected works. If copyright is a priority issue over everything else, then you need to wiretap all everybody's private communication to discover when something copyrighted is being transmitted. There is no middle ground. Either you have the right to communicate in private, or you don't.
Well, in America, most of the Napster stuff was actually stuff that happened online, so people were file sharing online. It wasn't necessarily in private that this was going on. But so what you're telling me was happening was that there were privacy issues with regard to, that they were actually going into people's emails and finding out if they were file sharing.
Right, but it is private. Every 1 and 0 that leaves or arrives at your computer is private. Because
I see what you're saying.
Because if you are to snoop on these 1s and 0s, what you're going to find is letters to your lawyer, to your doctor, to your preacher, to everybody, just to find out these pieces, these particular patterns of 1s and 0s that happen to be copyrighted works over one medium or another.
Do you have anything that's like the Digital Millennium Copyright Act?
We do. We have a version of it. It's called the European Union Copyright Directive, and it's implemented in various ways in the member states of Europe.
So what are your objectives politically? What would you like to see done?
We're saying that copyright needs to get out of honest people's bedrooms. It needs to be reduced to cover commercial activity only. And by that I mean activity that happens within a corporation. Something that you do on your own in private is not commercial. Copyright monopoly does not cover it. We're saying that the length of copyright today is ludicrous.
Well, that's the other thing. What is your
Right.
length of copyright? Is it the Berne Agreement?
We're suggesting 5 years from publication.
Yes.
Various economic professors suggest between 1 year from publication to 9 years of publication as the optimum point for cultural enrichment and diversity in society. And I mean, after all, maximizing culture is what copyright is about. If you look at the Constitution, it says it right there. The purpose of copyright is to promote the progress of sciences and the useful arts.
It's a raid on the public space every time they keep extending the copyright
Right.
law. And
I-
saying Mickey Mouse can have 25
right.
more years, so
right.
Disney can reap
but,
the...
Right, but the purpose of copyright was never to reap reap rewards or to gain a profit. It was always to maximize the culture.
Right.
So
What's the resistance to 5 years? I'm sure it is enormous.
well, we haven't gotten there yet. It's mostly about getting a copyright out of honest people's bedrooms and making sure that we have the right to privacy, we have the right to civil liberties online, the same civil liberties that our mothers and fathers fought, bled and died for are now under jeopardy because the internet isn't for real. I mean, you can hear people talk like that. Did you meet on the internet or did you meet them for real? You would never hear somebody say, did you talk on the phone or did you talk for real?
Do you have what we
Did you read that in a newspaper? Did you read it for real? I mean,
do you have what we would call net neutrality issues?
we don't have those issues yet, but yes, they would definitely be part of our platform.
Because what we're finding in the United States, and I don't know if it's here, is that the whole concept of maximizing profits means increasing rents on all fronts, and so we have copyright under assault everywhere. We recently passed an act that gave performance royalties on radio where they hadn't been given before. And it was basically just a wealth transfer from the radio stations to the record companies in the name of the performers who get 1% of them.
Yeah, we see that everywhere. Yeah. I mean, the copyright lobby is so powerful and so everywhere that all the other parties, which are more important to our economy, don't have a voice. And I think that's very sad, and that's one of the things we're trying to change. Basically kind of kick the copyright lobby out of the Justice Department.
Well, you have a lot of the jobs in Sweden are dependent on technology jobs, right?
A lot of them, yes.
Are they sort of saying we have to protect copyright in order to protect these jobs, or what? I'm just wondering if
No, I mean, it's the other way around. If you look at home electronics, if you look at broadband, if you look at pretty much anything related to electronics that isn't the entertainment industry, then it gains from lowering copyright.
Yes, but software tends to be, like Microsoft has a very big interest in protecting its copyright on its software, and I'm assuming that that would be likewise over here as well.
Well, Microsoft would be a player, but they aren't.
Oh, okay.
Not in Sweden.
So are there any bills in Sweden that are sort of coming forth that you're trying to influence?
Yeah, they are. For instance, there's one bill that makes my mobile phone a governmental tracking device that forces the operators to record every call I make, every SMS I send, every email I send, and how this device moves through the city for the authorities.
Now,
that's insane. I mean, that's Stasi 2.0.
Who's putting that bill forward? Is it what party? Is there a coalition? Who backs that?
It was the last administration's Minister of Justice, Thomas Bodström, who used the Brussels boomerang. He knew that he couldn't get this through national parliament. So he went through the European Parliament in Brussels, pushed it through there with the help of a lot of other European ministers of justice. And so now it's returning to Parliament as something, this comes from Brussels, we have to implement it. No, we don't. If there's a choice between honoring the integrity of honest citizens and doing whatever Brussels says, then it's up yours, Brussels.
Is this a left-right coalition? Is this primarily,
The Pirate Party?
Yes.
We draw people from all over.
Yeah.
That's the funniest part of it. I mean, we knew that we were a good mix of left and right, but when you look at the exit polls, we actually saw that in hard data. We draw people from all over in even numbers. It's right across the line.
Why the increase?
What?
Why the increase in popularity recently? What do you think caused it?
The conflict escalates all the time. I mean, we know that a lot of people agree with us. That's not the issue, getting people to agree with us. They do that already. The issue is how many people think these issues are important enough to lay their actually vote on us. And that's where the escalation of conflict comes in. If these conflicts escalate, more people will vote for us because they already believe as we believe, that the internet needs to be free and a